Anyways, Dan, first question or comment. Nothing describes our team better than our 2-2-2 record. I really hope we get better because I don't know how do we deal with another frustrating year like last year.
Is that not what I said? That it fits the meme that they're exactly 500 and 2-2-2 through their first 6 games.
Could you imagine if they find themselves not in a playoff position? Not even just like by end of year, because we'll know if they're in a playoff position before the end of the year. What the fan base is going to be like. Do you think it's going to be billboard level?
It may. Yeah, I think it may.
It might get to that point. I think people are ready for change. If it gets to that, I think people are ready for change, even if it doesn't get to that. We saw that on our YouTube show. Andre has been get rid of Lou consistently in the comments, and at least to myself on Twitter, he's been on that for a couple of years now.
Okay.
So, and he's not the only one. Obviously, there are people within our Patreon, which is totally acceptable if you are of the opinion that Lou needs to go ASAP. But it's going to reach a fever pitch if it is a frustrating year, specifically missing the playoffs.
That would do it.
That would be bad. Thank you, Dan, for that. John K97. I naively want to think it's just them getting some of the rust off early. Though with Duclair out, this is essentially the same team we've seen for the last few years, and the same issues that have plagued them are back. They just can't get anything going on offense. I wouldn't want to break up the second line since they have been the most consistent so far, and it could just end up with having 4 unproductive lines instead of 3. With it still being early, I hope they are able to turn it around, likely through the coaching staff reworking their entire offensive game plan, as I don't see any impactful reinforcements coming in the foreseeable future.
No, well, that's the thing too. You have an injury 5 games into your season. No one is trading in October. No. Like that. This is a thing at the earliest, probably January, that you could address. So you have to just kind of ride the wave and hope that you stay afloat, which is not how I want to go about a season, by the way. That's not my perfect plan here. But that's the reality that you find yourself in as you lose your one top 6 free agent addition in Anthony Duclair. I don't know what else to say. You know, you're kind of just you're in a waiting game. You can't. There's no button to hit and go, oh, okay, I'm gonna just magically trade for insert guy here because we lost someone 4 games into our season. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, the only hockey trade I can think of, the most recent one that comes to mind, and correct me if I'm wrong, is Ryan Johansson, Seth Jones.
Okay.
I remember that swap between Columbus and Nashville. And I was like, that was early in the year, wasn't it? January 6th, 2016, Mike. Okay. That's how long ago this was.
You had to make sure you got the date in there, the year in there on January 6th, just to clarify.
Shit. Yep. That was an early trade, I thought. January 6th, a month before, maybe 2 months before the trade deadline. That's not early, man.
No. The Bo Horvat trade was considered relatively early, too, and that was January 30th.
That's right. And it was right around the same time. You're right. Teams just don't make trades this early unless something is horribly wrong.
Which, again, is super rare. I think earliest you see a legitimate trade is January. So you have to somehow stay afloat for 2 months.
Yeah. I'm just trying to look at last year when the earliest trade happened. Considerable trade. There's some moving around in November. Anthony Beauvillier goes to Chicago in November, but that's for draft picks. He didn't do very well there.
No.
Either. There's some stuff happening in early December. There's a trade in Caleb Jones for Callahan Berg. These are random names just being generated. Casey DeSmith goes to Vancouver in September, but this is cap posturing by Montreal. There's nothing here of anyone of consequence being moved early. And of course, I've only looked at 1 year, and it's the most recent one. Doesn't mean it never happens, but I think it paints a clear picture, as you alluded to, that it just doesn't happen.
No.
So yeah, and we talked through it, kind of like what what John was saying here, that we just don't really have anything to. If we don't have anything to bring up, we certainly don't have anything to trade.
No, yeah. What are you going to give up other than a draft pick?
Yeah, a guy you weren't going to play anyways. Who's trading for that? Again, like Columbus, they're good. They know they're suck. They're going to wait to the deadline and trade off whoever they've got to get assets. Sean Monahan for firsts type of thing.
Yeah. What kind of contract did Sean Monahan sign?
That's exactly what I was thinking when I was like, oh, how long of a deal is he on?
5 years.
Oh, yeah,
you're right. Like you can't. We can move. That's tough for him. That's so tough.
That's tough for sure. But so yeah, he. Anyways, we just don't have anything. And as John is alluding to, not only do we have nothing to trade because we have nothing to come up, we have nothing to come up. Who are you calling up? Alex Jeffries? Sure, great, that'd be fun, but like that might not necessarily be fair to him either, because if he fails, which he probably will do, that's gonna set him back. How long did it set Williams to full back? If you like that, make sure to subscribe to Up the Turnpike on Patreon for more exclusive New York Islanders content.